Hello there, my name's Glenn Case. I'm a self-proclaimed internet geek musician, and usually I write and record songs in my basement, releasing them online for anyone who wants to hear what I do. You might know me as the guy who created the theme song and other music for The New Adventures of Captain S, an online sitcom put together by PBC Productions. Then again, you might not know me at all. That's okay too. I've been working on an album called Throw Money for more than 4 years now, recording the songs, deciding they don't sound good enough, scrapping the recordings, starting over again, scrapping them again, wash, rinse, repeat. Some people who know me have been calling the album my Chinese Democracy or my Duke Nukem Forever. They've got a point. I wasn't so sure that the album would ever be finished. Well, it will be finished and released on June 14th, 2013. Since I usually just make songs in my basement, you might wonder why I'm asking for funding. Well, this time I tried to create something a little more special than my usual releases. An album that would be worth buying even if you don't buy it. Thing is, there are a lot of expenses associated with making a proper album. First, let's focus on the people. Thankfully, I have friends that have donated their time and talents to help Throw Money become a reality, but I'd like to pay them. Jared Crabb gave me an insanely good deal, mixing and mastering the songs in his new fantastic studio. Because the studio is new, his introductory rate was around $250 per song, which is actually insanely inexpensive compared to what a band usually pays for similar studios. Still, that would come out to $3,000 for the 12 songs on Throw Money. Jared has received significantly less than that from me thus far. I'd like to pay Jared at least $1,000 from the funding of this album. My friend Ken Maru recorded the drum parts a couple of years ago in a very nice studio in California. It would cost me $1,200 to pay Ken $100 per song for his performances, and I haven't paid him at all yet. So I'm hoping to pay Ken right around $1,000 from the Kickstarter funds. I asked Mark Thorne to put together artwork for this project, and he came up with some ridiculously cool designs. He said it took him about 4 hours of work, and he'll be putting more work into editing the designs for the album layout. I haven't paid him yet, but we agreed on a price of $300. There may be a surprise guest on the album. If that comes through, I should pay him too. Rachel Lane sang on Need Stilts and co-wrote the song with me, but she's my wife, and neither one of us are looking to get paid directly from the Kickstarter funding. Any money we make will be generated from selling the albums if the Kickstarter is successful. Outside of that, I wrote all of the songs and I played and sang everything else you'll hear on the album. There's no other people to pay, but if the Kickstarter makes more money, those people make more money. Okay, now that we've covered the people, next it's the production costs. Vinyl. I grew up listening to records, absorbing the sounds, and watching the patterns the labels made as they rotated around. I remember being so excited when I was able to record my own songs on cassette, and I was ecstatic when I burned my songs to CD for the first time. I never thought it would be possible to commit my songs to vinyl, but it is possible in this day and age. United Record Pressing in Nashville, Tennessee manufactures vinyl records, and while the price is reasonable, a good chunk of what I am asking for will go directly to making the records. Vinyl production for Throw Money is going to cost at least $2,000 minimum. I'd like to make it on green vinyl. That costs extra. I'd love to make it on 180 gram vinyl. That costs extra. Realistically, it'll cost closer to $3,000 or more to make the albums as fancy as I would like, but for the sake of this project, having it in a less fancy package is better than not having it at all. Simply put, the more the Kickstarter exceeds the goal, the nicer the vinyl will be. The rest of the costs will cover CD manufacturing, postage, and all of the other expenses associated with fulfilling the perks and making this album a reality. It's this last expense that frightens me the most because it's difficult to gauge what the other expenses will be and to assign a dollar amount to cover those costs. I'm not going to lie, this album will still be released on June 14th if this Kickstarter goal isn't fulfilled, but there probably wouldn't be any CDs and definitely no vinyl. Plus, I would need to work out some kind of a payment plan to pay my friends fairly. You can help me make this album so much better than that. Throw Money, coming out June 14th, 2013. Arguably 12 of the best songs I've ever written in one package. Thank you for your consideration.